Questionable week. This guy had 7 highly questionable years in the NFL. What do you like on the show today, Dominique?
Oh, I get to be an old football player who looks at these current guys and says, we did it better back in my day.
Dale, papi.
Well, that's a nice jacket. I have curtains that they look like that. Was Derrick Henry's 99-yard touchdown run the best run you have ever seen?
That's what I made it out of, actually. Some curtains he had in the 1960s. This was supposed to be a quarterback sneak right here. Marcus Mariota, because they're so deep in their own territory, audible to this. And so I didn't know that Derrick Henry had this in him. I knew he had that in him, Dominique. I knew he had that in him, too. Right here, that. That.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I just didn't know that he had the speed to do that. 99 yards. It's not the greatest I've ever seen because I think Marshawn Lynch in a playoff game broke twice that many tackles and then jumped into the end zone backward while grabbing his crotch. But this is in the discussion. Obviously, it's the longest run ever. They can't be longer than this. And it was more impressive than the one that Tony Dorsett did that everyone talks about.
Yeah, I mean, the Lynch punctuation is what puts that run over the top, but that was phenomenal. I think that's what people thought Derrick Henry was going to be every down when he came in the league, but we see it in glimpses. I do think that we should take into consideration that possibly the best part about that play is Taylor Lewin, the all-pro tackle, called it before the snap.
That's not the best run I have ever seen. This is the best run that I have ever
Let's
seen.
see. What is my father? Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Chasing the
That's
ice cream
right.
truck.
It was one of those strawberry shortcake ice creams that was
look
in my
at
mind.
that
That's right. That's right.
Should the Jaguars blow it all up this offseason?
They look terrible. This team was so close to being in the Super Bowl, so close to having a defense that might have actually been able to slow down the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. And now they are 4-9 after losing last night. Their offense is a mess. They don't have to blow it all up, though, Dominique. What they need is a quarterback. A quarterback will make everyone look more competent. And what you've seen in regression from that defense is particularly because their number one opponent is their offense. Bad field position leaves them out there. The reason that team is worse this year is because it's so much appreciably worse on offense than defense.
Yeah, they certainly shouldn't blow it up, but the expectations that they had for this defense were too high considering what the offense has put out. They're down about 2 minutes for time of possession, which has the team on the field more. They're down, amazingly, 10 points a game less from their offense. So the defense is not terrible. They haven't looked great, but it's not at all their fault. We should certainly not blow it up. And as obvious as it was to all of us that they should have brought in a quarterback, I could understand why they entered this season the way they did. They played well offensively in the playoffs. They had a lot of points against a very good Steelers defense in the playoffs, and then they follow it up by moving the ball wherever they wanted against the eventual AFC champ Patriots. So I think they thought with Nathaniel Hackett that they could pick up where they left off and do more, but that chicken salad just wasn't there the same way it was last year.
It's interesting to now dissect because all of us knew Bortles wasn't good enough. All of us knew they had a quarterback problem. But at the very top of their organization, the one who didn't know was Tom Coughlin. And why didn't he know? At least in part because he's used to winning Super Bowls with 4-man rushes. He thought he could do it again because Jacksonville had a 4-man rush. It's not enough when your quarterback play is incompetent.
It wasn't all that bad for the Jaguars defense. You know, they were very excited, you know, when they stopped Henry from scoring his 5th touchdown. You know, they were fired up. That's
They were.
right.
6 minutes left in the game,
There we
3rd and goal. Big stop. You're not running 99 yards on this one, big man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who you think you are?
Yes, who do you think you are? A man who has the longest rush in NFL history?
Take pride in defense.
Not this time. Should the Lakers sign Melo if LeBron wants them to?
Okay, sure. Whatever LeBron wants, he will take on just about anybody. You know he redeemed J.R. Smith. You know they've got a bunch of knuckleheads already in that locker room. And if the failed Michael Beasley experiment can be not a failure with Carmelo Anthony playing the role of Michael Beasley, why wouldn't you try it? This is a bit of an experiment with the Lakers. If it doesn't work, you do what Houston did.
So this is according to The Athletic that LeBron wants Melo to come. I don't understand why, but LeBron is a much better basketball mind than just about anyone. So maybe he sees a fit. But I don't really think this is good for anybody. Carmelo is not going to rehab his image. He's going to go there and look bad, and we're going to judge him even more than we already have. The guys who we just talked about last week needing to develop get less time, and LeBron doesn't get any of his workload taken off because Carmelo is not a primary ball handler. So how this works out, I don't know. But if LeBron wants it, you do it.
I know how it works out. LeBron is going to get his banana boat. He already got Dwayne Wade. This is how he gets Melo. Wait till you see him playing with a 45-year-old Chris Paul.
You know, I usually don't agree with LeBron, but I agree with him this time. They should sign Melo. You know, he will be a great asset for the Lakers, and Melo should take all the shots.
Oh, my father with the helpful
shots,
advice.
all the shots.
Let's
you
go,
know?
LeBron. You want the
Let's-
workload lessened
Come
a little
on.
bit? Melo is here for all your bad shot-taking needs.
Every single shot, Melo takes it. You know,
There it
and
is.
that's the
My
way,
father
you-
has no ulterior motive here. He just wants your workload to get easier.
Did Ryan Reeves go too far by autographing photos of a concussed Tom Wilson?
All right, Tom Wilson is a noted goon. He's got a reputation for suspensions, behaved poorly in the playoffs last year. And here's the hit from Ryan Reeves. This Vegas team has fun, enjoys itself. Violence is a part of this game in a way that's uncomfortable. And a memorabilia dealer had him sign this. It's a funny picture if you can laugh at concussions. I also am curious, Dominique, the people in this sport still don't know what a legal hit is and what an illegal hit is. That part's confusing.
Yeah, it throws me off. I'm not going to judge the hit because I don't understand the game to that degree, but I do think what he did was extremely distasteful. He also wrote in there that he ran into a lion in the jungle, which was the quote that he had. Also, lions don't live in the jungle, but that's aside from the point. That's the quote that he had after he knocked the player out. So I'm disappointed. I think it's distasteful, but he's a thug, and thugs do thug things.
I think that we all deserve a big congratulations.
For?
Because we'll talk about hockey now.
Yeah, we talked
All
successfully
right.
about hockey.
That's
Not
right,
a play or anything,
That's
just
right.
a controversy or a fight. It's the only thing we cover.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
He still wants to say something. Yes.
Can't talk the way you did this offseason. Be losing 30-9 in the fourth quarter. Be 4-9 and do that.
It's like Roy Hobbs in the natural.
Oh, look at him playing the world's largest violin.
I mean, isn't he kind of doing the same thing that Jalen Ramsey just did? Like, Jalen Ramsey just started celebrating. He got mad at him for it, and then he starts mimicking that he's playing a violin. If you want the guys to just play football, then you can't go and do all this stuff. Like, it's contradictory. And Jalen Ramsey's a smart player. That's what you do when a 300-pound man walks up on you. You take a charge.
You know, I trust your opinion because you know something about defensive backs being on the ground. You know
That's
what I mean?
true, he
That's
does.
right.
Let's see,
There we
you
go. Right there.
He-
He's
he
a
would
man
totally
that
know.
Speaks with authority.
Yes,
That's right.
He is an expert on matters of being on the ground.
He
Las Vegas. Let's see what we have here.
Here comes Alex Tuck looking to drive. A one-hand shot and a save rebound. But that knocked off.
My father's just giggling because this is just chaos. The goal off of its moorings.
For interference.
Let's see if we got interference here.
He still wants to say something. Yes.
To challenge the call.
Okay. Stop it.
The call on the ice stands. No goal. Las Vegas. And that takes some of the fun out of all of it, right? You're waiting around and it's just staring at a guy standing on the ice trying to get a microphone working.
But what did he say first? Did he say the puck was in the net? Like, I feel like that was a bait and switch. He said the puck was in the net, and then we got a
We needed
What did we
two hockey calls. You know, talk about hockey twice in a row. Ah!
See what we got here? Did we get him or no?
It was contact. Watch the contact. Watch this. There was a little graze. Right there, graze. Look at it. Graze. Graze.
Yeah, there was a graze and you made an old man that
Hey,
hit
man,
himself
say-
in the... Right there. Dominic,
No,
I want you to be...
no.
To protect the dog from a kangaroo, is that what they
Dogs from kangaroos, yeah.
said?
You may have heard my father befuddled because
With a blow knocks him on his ribs. A scuffle between the family's dogs and the kangaroo
laughing about. The guy didn't lose his beer with his impressive. That meant you think something came from outer space and had more power than you do.
And the kangaroo is a little... And the dogs aren't helping him, and his daughter, his beloved daughter, took out her camera. Go get some help or get into action.
Can we talk about how in shape that kangaroo was, by the way? Like, that was
How not in shape Daniel is, by the way.
unnecessary. Happened? Look at that! It's using
crazy.
a
Stronger kangaroo.
That's true.
Let's
Here's the
see,
muscle
see, I want to
head.
see
This
that guy.
This is the
That's
one,
right. That's the
undefeated.
guy you got to pick
yeah,
up. That's the guy you gotta
undefeated. Demon thing that looks
Look
like.
at that.
Oh,
that's,
my
that's the real deal.
You show up to a holiday party with
Highly questionable. This broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that has a way with words. See? Oh no.
What kind of way with words do you have?
Oh, you gotta know how to use them, when to use them.
Tell us what's on television tonight. We tell you if we're intrigued.
Sunday night on NBC, Rams and Bears.
Dominic Foxworth flew into Miami, was on the radio show today, and gave the excellent football expertise of this weekend's about offense versus defense, which is what it is every week in the NFL on Sundays. It's offense versus defense, but we've got some of the best defenses playing against some of the best offenses. Todd Gurley plays on an overwhelming offense and hates fantasy football, so he does things like this a few weeks ago that made people really mad because they've got him in fantasy and he doesn't try to score, and there are gambling ramifications on over-unders, and he just says, nah, never mind. And again, last week against Detroit, the Rams won as well. They're up a touchdown here late in the game. This would ice the game. There he's got the first down, and he does the same thing, except he needs to get into the end zone because the Lions have timeouts. The Lions have timeouts. That was not a smart play. That was just a bleep you to fantasy owners for a guy who scores touchdowns very easily. Dominique, are you intrigued?
See, I am intrigued, but that last one, it was
pretty unsuccessful because they ended up giving the ball 3 more times and he ended up scoring a touchdown. So if he was trying to upset his fantasy owners, fail. If he was trying to help his team, fail. All he did was get hit a few more times.
It must be crazy in sports books, though, the idea that the spread on that game was 10 and you're watching the end of that and you need that guy to either get in or not get in. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, are you kidding me? See, I'm very intrigued. You know what I mean? They're going to go 2 quarterbacks, 2 top-notch quarterbacks going, mano a mano. You know, you got Goof on one side, and then on the other side, you got Trabunski. You know what I mean? Trabunski, the Russian guy against the Polish guy.
Against
Goof, you know what I mean? I mean, that's going to be a hell of a
It's going
to be a hell of a matchup.
All
I'm
right.
talking about, I'm telling you. Send me business. Goof.
All right.
Saturday night on ESPN, the Heisman Trophy ceremony.
All quarterbacks here, Poppy. Kyler Murray, Tua, and the third guy. I understand Ohio State Haskins, but it's the third guy. I don't know who's going to win here. Poppy has submitted his vote already. I have submitted my vote already. Dominique doesn't have a vote, but let's get his thoughts instead because he doesn't have a vote. Go ahead, Dominique. Are you intrigued?
I was intrigued until you guys started taking shots at me. So, no, wait, hold on. What network is it on?
ESPN. No shots at you, Dominique. It's just facts. You don't have a Heisman vote. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I got to be watching
That's
that.
right.
I got to be watching the Heisman presentation because I tell you, I put some hard hours of work and analysis into my selection, and I want to make sure that I make the right selection. The only thing that I'm going to regret is that Tricky Nick is going to be on the audience, you know, right there. And I got to be watching the guy Tricky Nick. That's the only thing that is going to hold me back.
I can assure you that he's not going to tell you who the vote is. That's not allowed. He's not allowed to do that or he'll lose his vote. But you can rest assured that if he's rooting against Tricky Nicky being in the audience, he's rooting against his player taking home that trophy.
Tonight on WeTV, Love After Lockup.
Oh, nice. This is people who are getting married right after one of the people has come out of jail. That's how my mother met my father. Not a lot of people know that. Let's check in.
They found love online.
I was cruising the internet and I stumbled across pictures of Matt. I became obsessed.
With a convict.
What was his original crime?
Grand Theft Auto. I am a virgin. I've never had sex. Michael is going to be my first and my last.
They've never been together outside prison walls.
That's the beauty of a prison relationship. It's a relationship without sex.
You're fixing to go into marriage with someone that you have not physically seen. You're going to pick her up at a prison and you're going to get married the next day. Yeah.
I had 72 hours before the U.S. Marshals come after me. What the hell?
Get the line up now!
What you gonna
We should get upside.
I mean, if he won't marry that woman who was trying on that wedding dress and eating cigarettes, I would. Dominique, are you intrigued?
I am intrigued. I'm a little disappointed and sad with the point of this country where reality TV has dipped to these lows, but I'm going to watch it.
Okay, dip to these lows. Flavor Flav was dating someone who pooped on a staircase on television. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. So they go from one kind of prison to another one, huh? That's right.
Okay, my father was not the greatest endorsement for marriage. My father would prefer to go back to prison, perhaps, after 50 years of marriage.
Magnificent.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
You better not say that the meals were better in prison or Mom's going to kill you.
Gracias.
She's going to be in prison.
So this is it, eh? You're not going to be here next week, eh?
No, sir.
Ah, that's the way I like it. Ah,
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, Bobby. Yeah. Yeah. Dominique is gone. Yeah.